In this episode, I have an interview with Luke Wilcox, the founder and CEO of Ethos. This is All in One Financial. I'm Bill Holliday. We discuss financial planning issues of investing, taxes, estate planning, insurance, and retirement planning. Brought to you by AIO Financial, a fee-only financial planning firm working with clients all over the U.S. at aiofinancial.com. Thank you for joining me on this episode. I am talking again about sustainable, responsible impact investing. And I have Luke. He is the founder of Ethos, which is a financial tech platform that allows investors and advisors to align their investments with causes they care about. And that can include issues such as racial justice, workplace safety, climate change, LGBTQ equality, and other issues. It lets you get this personalized rating because you select what causes you care about, and it'll rate companies and funds based on your values and your priorities. Luke is the founder and CEO. He has led tech startups, social impact organizations, and strategic engagement for Fortune 500 companies. He's passionate about helping everyone participate in impact investing. Let's go to our interview. All right, Luke, thank you for joining me on our podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, so let's talk about Ethos. Where did you come up with this idea? Where did this come from?
I was doing my own investing a couple of years ago, just as a retail investor, investing online through a few online brokerages. And I wanted to see the impact of my investments as an everyday investor. I did a bunch of research, and there was a lot out there for big financial institutions, a lot of ESG agencies providing ratings, but not a lot for everyday investors. So I wanted to figure that out for myself and did some research, and there's all this very disparate information related to greenhouse gas emissions of investments and gender equality and really disparate, difficult to find information. So Ethos was born with the goal of bringing together this disparate information, making it easy for everyday investors, for financial advisors, for any investor to understand the impact of their investment on causes they care about. It was something that I wanted to do personally. I have a background in social impact measurement and working for nonprofits. So something that I'm passionate about. I wanted to do for myself, and Ethos attempts to do this for everyone.
Yeah, that's great. And I tell you, we subscribe to Morningstar and some different systems, and they have a lot of information, but it is not very easy to present to a client at a meeting or to get your hands around comparing. So, this is great work you're doing. How long ago did you start Ethos?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago, I guess, we started. We started with a direct-to-consumer product. So we had a retail investor product. You could log in, link your bank accounts. We got some pretty good traction with about 1,000 free users on our product. But we pivoted to focus on financial advisors, wealth managers, planners, et cetera. About 5-6 months ago, we launched a product for financial advisors. So we're definitely an early stage company, a small team, growing, and really excited to be working with financial advisors and in this space.
Yeah, I imagine you have got a lot of data to sort through. That's got to be a monumental task to get through all that and to sort out what's useful, because I know a lot of the reporting is voluntary, so you've got a challenge there. I'm sure it'll get easier with time, as maybe there'll be more mandatory reporting.
Yeah, hopefully. I think we're still a long ways off from impact related data being anywhere near financial data, but I think moving in that direction. Maybe 5-10 years down the road, impact related data will be at a similar place that financial data is at, but it's a long ways off. So we try to do some of that hard work of web scraping and aggregating a lot of publicly available data, as well as some licensed data, and making that very easy for anyone to use, for advisors to use with their clients.
Yeah. And so it started with just for individual investors. And I see that's an option for individuals can access the platform still. It's not exclusively advisors and advisors as well.
Yeah, it's the individual part of the product is very slimmed down. It's still basically a free version for individuals. So any retail investor can find funds, stocks, companies that align with their values. There's no portfolio building or client engagement stuff. All of our main focus is financial advisors. The individual product is very slimmed down and really just focused on helping people find investments that align with their values. There's no portfolio related stuff.
That's great. Well, and even just for people to be aware that this exists, so
Yeah,
they can
yeah, it's a
ask
big part
their
of our
advisor as well if they need.
yeah, it's a big part of our mission. We believe that everyone should be able to invest in line with their values. If you care about gender equality or racial justice, climate change, a whole variety of things, it's we have a social mission is definitely part of our founding and our beliefs. We want everyone to be able to do that. That's a big part of our mission. We have that for individual investors, and then our again, our main focus though is still financial advisors.
That's great. And can you just talk a little bit about your background a little more? So it's tech related. Are you a programmer or data
Yeah,
collector?
yeah, yeah. So I have a background in data for sure. I worked in social impact measurement, so doing a lot of grant writing and data analytics with social impact data for nonprofit organizations. And then I worked as a consultant for big corporations doing a lot of data analytics, doing strategy projects as well as data related projects. We did a lot of modeling, a lot of using very unstructured data to solve a problem or to create structure out of unstructured data. That is what has really pulled over into Ethos, is being able to structure this very disparate data into easy to understand, easy to digest and communicate ratings and information that is meaningful for clients and for investors.
Yeah, and it is we get a variety of clients too. Some want just a nice summary of, yes, I'm on the right track. And then some people do want to dig down. So I'm sure
Yeah.
it's a challenge to provide both a quick overview and more backup information as needed.
Yeah, it's we take the principle of starting off at the high level and providing as high level view as you can, and then allowing you to dig deeper if you want to. So like you said, a lot of clients are happy with the high level view and some want to dig down. So we try to create layers of data. You can dig as deep as you want. You can get to the raw data underneath our ratings and transparently see all of that if you want. Yeah, that's something that I think is a big problem with a lot of ESG data out there. Not to criticize anyone, but it is a little bit of a black box for a lot of ESG data that's out there. And we try to be transparent with the data that we use and how we're using it, and let anyone go as deep as they want.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's a lot of real simple rating systems, and it's nice. It's nice they're even addressing the topic, but you have to be careful because they might be rating it high compared to other fossil fuel companies, and it doesn't necessarily get to what you want out of it. So it's
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
tricky there. And I mean, and it's tough too, just because people have different values or goals. So you can't have a single rating system for everyone.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
quite a challenge.
Yeah, every investor is different. One of our other principles is that we try to personalize everything to every investor. It's one investor may care about climate change and gender equality, another may really care about innovation and decent, safe work for everyone. So we try to allow advisors to personalize the information and ratings for every investor's preferences.
Yeah, we tend to get a lot of clients with sort of a similar bucket of values or of goals, but people still have different priorities or different focuses or want to see more on different topics. And as a larger community, all the investors, there is a pretty broad range of what people are prioritizing or looking at.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I don't know if you want to show the program. So a lot of people are hearing this through a podcast. So we'll look at a screen of your program and we'll try to describe as best we can. But if you want to see more, it'll be on the video that we post, and there'll be a link in the show notes.
What we're seeing here is the workspace for an advisor on Ethos. If you're a firm using Ethos, you see this is your workspace, and we're oriented around clients and leads. So we do a variety of lead generation and marketing stuff to help you grow, as well as work with existing clients, deepen relationships with clients.
I appreciate that lead. There's a nice link so that you can kind of put that out for people to click and get a little information, and then you could follow up with those people that are interested.
Yeah, that's the personalization aspect, and one of the ways that we really focus on engaging leads and clients. We get input from them on what do you care about as an investor? Do you care about climate change, et cetera? And then use that to help you as an advisor structure conversations and communicate along those causes. The second main area that we're oriented around is research. We provide all of our data and ratings, all the underlying data here under research companies and funds. And then reports is the third area that we're oriented around, and reports are a way to communicate the impact of a portfolio proposal that you have, or to structure a conversation around impact with a client or lead. So let me go into, Bill, you were mentioning this impact assessment, the questionnaire. Let me show you what that looks like.
Yeah.
If we go to lead gen, so every firm on Ethos has a branded impact assessment. It's like a little questionnaire. So this is the welcome page, and this is all customizable. So you can change the language. This is all default is what we're seeing here. So a lead could see this from your website, from social, from anywhere, from your email, et cetera. They come here and they see a welcome message, and it's when you click get started, we'll go through this very quickly, but the goal is to have the lead or client pick the causes they care about. So let's say this client cares about climate action, life on Earth, gender equality, and peace and justice, just as an example. So you first pick these big causes that you care about. And these are big buckets that cover what a lot of investors care about, from social justice related causes to environment related to economic related, et cetera.
Right. I see health and water and innovation, inclusive economies. There's quite a list.
Yeah, quite a big range of cause categories. So once you pick those big things that you care about, the next step is within each of those, rating from 1 to 7 in a simple questionnaire style, what's most important to you. So from 1 to 7, say, I really care about renewable energy growth, as an example. On the back end of Ethos, we're using this 1 to 7 input to weight the ratings for the investor. So we'll weight ratings of all of our stocks and funds, as well as rate the portfolio, if you create a portfolio for this leader client, to match the exact mix of causes this person cares about. So it's personalized to this lead or client. So let's say I'll also care about reducing greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. So we'll go to the next big cause, which is gender equality. And I'll just leave these as 4 as an example so we can go through this quickly. If I'm a lead or client, I'm going to pick what I care most about.
And so what if you do just care about everything?
Yeah, it's a question that we get pretty frequently. That's totally fine. That just means that they'll be equally weighted. So you'll have ratings and information that is equally weighted across all causes that you pick, which is great. That's fine. The 1 to 7 rating is a way, if someone is really passionate about some specific mix of causes, then you can use that to get really tailored, personalized information.
Gotcha.
So let's leave that. And peace and justice, we'll leave this as 4s as well. So if I'm a lead, the next screen is going to be—
We're just going through all these different issues. So within each category, it breaks it into further questions about each category. So environmental, there were several weightings. Social justice, several different categories.
Exactly. It's designed to get the rating or weighting of those causes. If I'm a lead seeing this, so not an existing client, I'll see this screen, which is just a basic lead capture information. So in order to see my results as a lead, I have to enter in some basic information. So we'll just put in example client. I'm typing in a name and an email.
Name and optionally, email and the amount of assets currently invested. That's great.
Yeah, and that's optional. If you don't want to ask that, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But once I click see my results, then the advisor, you'll get an email immediately saying X person has completed an impact assessment. Here's their contact info. Here are the causes they care about. This lead will also appear in your account immediately, so you can follow up with them. The lead, when they click see my results, we're now going to the results screen. So a lead will see some information immediately about their causes. So there's a visual here on the screen that says this person is an equality, justice, and life sustainer. That's their impact persona, we call it. It basically reflects the causes they care about. We use this, you can use this as an advisor to tailor the information, tailor a portfolio, show the client or lead how well their portfolio supports these causes they care about. So there's some information here that we show to the lead immediately, the breakdown of their causes. So I can see these 4 big causes that we picked. There's some information about these causes.
Oh, yeah.
How they line up with the UN SDGs, for example, the problem that they're addressing. This is all customizable stuff. You can change the messaging here to suit your needs or your branding. So there's also some optional information here. You can show a typical portfolio or an average portfolio, how well this supports their causes. Well, the goal with this is to incite some curiosity of, here's a typical portfolio. It scores a C, a 47 out of 100, which you would expect out of an average portfolio. So the goal is to incite curiosity. Well, how well does my portfolio do on these causes? If I'm an average investor investing in some widely traded ETFs or mutual funds, then I probably have an average portfolio too. So the goal then is, well, can this advisor help me design a better portfolio that better aligns with my values? So there's some messaging here that you can customize to say, hey, I can really help you design a better portfolio that better aligns with your values or your causes. So this is the basic information. If we now go back to the main account for an advisor, we'll see this lead has appeared in their account. There's example client that we just created.
Yeah.
And every client then has this set of causes they care about. And then we have a bunch of information to help you design a portfolio and communicate that impact to each client or lead. For example, this client, if I go into this one we just created, there's a client portfolio. I can see the causes they care about. If it's an existing client or if you want to retake the assessment, you can do that anytime. You can, if a client says, hey, I actually care about X, Y, or Z more, you can do that. So let me just show you, jump over to research and reports. So the research part we mentioned, this is a way to access data and ratings across 45 causes. So we have about 7,000 individual stocks and 2,000 ETFs and mutual funds currently. We are working to add more. For every company, every fund, you have access to their detailed profile. So you can dig in as deep as you want. Like we were saying earlier, it's layers, you can see the overall rating. Or for example, for Ørsted, if I click on this stock, we're now going to Ørsted's profile. So for Ørsted, I can see their overall impact. I can see the data behind their rating if I want. So this is top metrics used to rate them. So I can hover over and see some top metrics. I can see all the metrics that we use down here. So you can go as deep as you want into the metrics behind a rating.
So you're looking at the company level of their sustainability on certain issues, and then are you combining those to come up with fund evaluations?
Yes, exactly. So I'm going back to the funds here. We start at the company level, as you said, Bill. We'll aggregate data related to a company's impact. So based on their SEC filings, based on third-party reports, a whole variety of data, we rate a company across 45 causes. Fund ratings are then based on the fund holdings. So we look at the fund composition, so the weight of every holding within a fund, as long as that fund has holdings that we rate. So as long as there are companies in that fund that we rate, we can rate that fund. So every fund here is based on its holdings.
Do you find that to be a problem? I mean, most funds are just made of publicly traded companies, or do you find issues with that?
Yeah, it's most funds are made of publicly traded companies, so we can rate most funds. We don't rate some funds in emerging markets, for example, where we don't have as full coverage of smaller companies. Then it's a little bit harder to rate those.
Sure.
But we are working on expanding to as many of these as we can. So each of these fund ratings, we're looking at fund ratings here. These are based on underlying holdings, and similar to companies, you can dig down into the data. If I look at Sustainable Development Goals ETF, SDGA, for example, I can see the holdings, and I can see the data similar to companies. So the top metrics and the individual metrics, all metrics.
And is there, you had an overall rating for this fund. Is that based on this client's priorities, or can you adjust it? I mean, if they're really just environment is their number one issue, would the rating change?
Yeah, definitely. So we do have static ratings, an overall impact rating and a rating for every 45 causes. And then there are also dynamic ratings for each client. So every client has ratings for all funds and stocks. We can see that here under research. I'm on research funds, and I can sort these by a client. Over here, I can sort by a cause. So I want to see top rated for any cause. I want to see the underlying metric, or if I want to see a client. So pick a client, for example, this example client we just created. I'm now going to see top rated funds for this example client. So now these are all custom rated based on those 4 big causes that we picked and the 1 to 7 ratings that we did. These are now weighted, personalized ratings for this client.
Gotcha. That's incredible. Okay. That's a lot to sort through. So originally you can just look at generally overall causes equally weighted for everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the default is going to be equally weighted across causes, the overall impact. For companies, we look at what's material to a company's industry. So a tech company, for example, is not going to have as big of an impact on climate change as an oil and gas company, for example. So an oil and gas company's rating, their overall impact rating is going to be weighted towards climate-related causes. That's for companies. For funds, we look across all causes.
Got it.
The other big piece is reports, which is really a visual way to communicate this stuff with clients and leads. If I go into reports, I'll look at an example portfolio analysis. So there are a few types of reports that you can customize. This is some default options. One type of report is a portfolio analysis.
I guess, yeah, that was a step. So you can look at research over everything available. You can look at the individual person's causes they care about, but then you can also enter in their holdings or proposed holdings for a portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. You can import holdings for a portfolio. You can propose a new portfolio with any holdings that you want. And then you can share that information with a lead or client to say, here's your current portfolio. For example, this person, this portfolio is well aligned with this person's causes. So you can see some visuals here that show the impact of a portfolio on the client's causes. So there's the SDGs, for example. This portfolio, we entered in a lot of sustainable funds, a lot of ESG funds that were aligned with this person's causes. So you can see that this is a great impact-focused portfolio. If you're looking at an existing portfolio, it's not going to be as well aligned, most likely. But this one is a great impact-focused portfolio.
I like how you tie into the UN sustainability development goals throughout this, which is a nice sort of benchmark or a nice categorization to keep throughout the evaluation. Yeah,
it's a growing framework for sure, being used by a lot of impact investors and impact investing related organizations. It's a great framework, for impact.
Yeah.
So you can also see the underlying assets if you want. There's a lot of information you can optionally share or not share depending on how deep a client wants to go.
Right.
We show some featured real world metrics. For example, you can see cars are moved from the road. This is the equivalent carbon footprint of a portfolio. You can go into detail and see what's behind this rating, for example. So a lot of information that you can choose to include or exclude as much as you want. The goal is to really visually share with this client or lead. Here's the impact of your portfolio. Here's how I, as an advisor, am helping you build a better portfolio that really aligns with your personal causes.
Yeah, that's super. There's a lot of information there. And again, some clients will want everything available and some will just want to know that they're on the right track.
Yeah. So you can include or exclude and really just show high level information if you want. You can create PDF reports that we'll be launching the next week or so if you want to share offline with clients as an example.
Yeah, that's a good point. If at the meeting you're quickly going through this because you're dealing with other, if cash flow or tax issues, and you're just touching on this briefly, you could follow up and send them more information as a follow-up.
Yeah, definitely. And you can create as many reports as you want. You can create quarterly reports if you're meeting with a client quarterly. You can show them the progress of their impact. You can show them how you're helping them improve their portfolio. If they're migrating to partial ESG portfolio, you can show them the impact of that, what that's doing to the rating on the causes they care about, their impact on greenhouse gas emissions, for example. It's really about deepening that relationship with a client through impact-related tools. And
it's great. I know several years ago, all we had were annual reports from the different funds on what impact they're having. And it's real cumbersome just to have these little stories of they had these shareholder actions, or they really had to trust that we were looking through stuff. There was really no way to present it.
Yeah, a lot of the advisors that we work with will cut and paste from a variety of fund reports into a PowerPoint presentation or another format. We're trying to make that easier to have one place where you can see the impact-related information for all the funds in a client's portfolio, see the portfolio's impact information, and communicate that in an easy way with your clients or leads.
Right. Yeah, it's quite a challenge. There's a lot of information, but I really like how you're presenting it. I think it gives advisors a lot of tools to use.
Yeah, investors are increasingly interested in ESG and impact investing, and I think a lot of advisors are hesitant to fully move to a sustainable focus or ESG focus, but this is an easy way to get started. With any clients who care about ESG, you can use it with one client, 10 clients, 100 clients. It's just an easy way to dip your toes in the water and get started.
Yeah, that's fabulous. If people are interested in finding out more, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at luke@ethos.so or give me a call, 605-360-6020, just my phone number. Or we're at ethos.so if you want to visit us online. And we can do a demo or chat or whatever you're most comfortable with.
That's super. Anything else people should be aware of, or any other information you want to provide?
I think that is great. We're excited to be working in this space. ESG and impact investing is growing rapidly, and we're thrilled to be here and working with a lot of great advisors. I'm excited to be working with you, Bill, and with everyone. So thank you for the time. Really appreciate being able to talk with everyone and being on your show.
Yeah, no, thanks, Luke. Thanks for your time. And I really appreciate the work you're doing. I'm excited to see as it grows.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited too.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bill. Take care.
Thanks for listening to our AIO Financial interview. This has been brought to you by AIO Financial. If you need help with any part of your finances, please contact AIO Financial for a free meeting, aiofinancial.com. We have a free ebook that provides an introduction or some information about sustainable, responsible impact investing. You could find it at impactfinancialplanners.com/SRI ebook. And we are starting to offer some consulting services for advisors interested in implementing SRI in their practice. And you can find information about that at impactinvestingfirms.com. I appreciate any comments you have, any questions. If you like these videos, podcasts, please subscribe, review, and let me know if you have any feedback. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye.